All right, so today I'm going to be browsing through some subreddits and giving some advice to people who need help. Now, you may think, who's this guy and what makes his advice credible? My answer to that is I'm nobody, and you don't have to take my advice. I just think I can use my experiences to give back using my perspective and input. My take is no more valid than the next guy, but I just want to do what I can to help and offer, a new perspective. So the first one we have is my driving instructor being inappropriate. I, 18 female, am almost halfway done with my driving lessons, but I've been debating writing this post since the beginning. The first time we drove, he kept telling me weird personal stories. One was that he dated an older woman in high school, or that one of his classmates dated and got pregnant from an older man. Later, he mentioned working as a bartender and how women were all over him. Then I tried to figure out if he has a second job other than being a driving instructor because he's always busy earlier in the day. And he told me he goes out to meet lovers. He has a toddler and a wife. He also asked for my socials recently, to which I was unfortunately too scared to decline. He followed me from his driving instructor account. I checked and found out that he follows many younger boys too. I'm guessing other students, which made me ease up a little bit. He was probing me about stories, so I ended up telling him about our perverted teacher who dated a kid and left the school. I thought this was a good opportunity to make it obvious I found it disgusting. I was wrong. Every time since then, he's asked for her socials. Just last time, he told me how he could understand why the teacher wanted someone younger, but didn't understand why she wanted him. Then he went on about his theory that women who grow up without a father figure end up going for older men. This made me extremely uncomfortable, and I wasn't even replying to him. I don't know if he's noticed, but I don't have a dad. My dad died when I was a toddler, and I have a stepdad now, but he only knows of my mother. I am by no means accusing the man. It's just that I actually started enjoying driving, yet it feels like I'm starting to associate it with a bad feeling every time I have a lesson. This makes me feel absolutely disgusted, and I just want to make sure it's nothing, and I'm simply overthinking it. What can I do? And there's one edit. It says, unfortunately, there is no company. Every driving instructor in my city is independent, and this guy is the only one near me. For all the others, I would have to travel 40 minutes with different buses and at night because I finish school very late. Yeah, so this guy definitely got something wrong with him. Um I mean, sounds like he's just testing your limits, seeing what he can get away with talking about. Definitely I would suggest definitely keeping your guard up around him. It sucks that there's not any other places around that you could go to with more professional instructors. But you absolutely have to keep going and seeing this guy, then I would suggest maybe telling your parents um that he might be pushing your boundaries, and if if the situation escalates and you become more uncomfortable and feel unsafe, then I would suggest maybe telling your parents. Maybe they could have a chat with him. um yeah, that's just really unfortunate. It's like to be uncomfortable in a place where you have to be at, you know so that kind of sucks. All right, and the next one says, I told a girl about a group that I go to, and then she started showing up there too. Now she says I'm following her. I met a girl at a social gathering 2 months ago, and we talked for a little bit. I get the invite from one of my friends. I don't know how she ended up being there. She mentions a sort of friends group and invites me to it. I end up going, and she seems pretty happy that I showed up. We end up talking pretty much every time we're at the group. Fast forward to a week before Christmas, where we're at a house party. We talk intermittently, and I mentioned to her that I go to a specific run club. Next week, she starts showing up to the same run club. This goes on for a few weeks. About half a week ago, when we were both at a friend's group, the one she invited me to, she pulls me aside and says I was following slash stalking her because I was going to the rum club, the one that I told her about. Her tone was very serious and also said things like, I hope this isn't going to be a problem. I didn't end up defending myself because I was confused at the time. I spend the rest of the time avoiding her, but while I separated for the rest of the group, speaking to a good friend that I made in this group, she came over and more or less forced herself into the conversation and kept trying to engage me directly. I did my best to avoid making eye contact and speaking to her in one word answers. When my friend leaves, I also leave. Seeking advice on what to do, I already wrote down the chain of events just in case I need it in the future. And there's an edit that says USA Mail. Yes, I should have clarified things. The chain of events just reminded me of every single crazy slash abusive person I met in my life. A little over half a dozen. So I froze up. She seemed normal before this, so I was blindsided. Yeah, people like this, in my experience, I mean, they just kind of are looking for trouble. So, I definitely keep my distance. Um, Having your chain of events like mentally noted is pretty smart just in case, she tries to spread rumors or lies about you. Um, Also, if you have any witnesses around that can you know, speak for your case, that'd be smart too, because these people usually try looking for problems, spreading misinformation around you. Um, yeah, I mean, you just really have to be careful about what you do and say around that person. This definitely sounds like somebody I'd want to keep my distance from, to be honest. So I don't think you're crazy for thinking that. All right. So the next one says, my friend smells horrible and does not care. My friend group, 18 to 23 female, has a friend, 23 female, who is the life of the party. She's fun, gets us together, and super funny, but she smells awful. It's a mixture of saliva, dandruff, marinated body odor, mildew, and sometimes fish. She also wears no shoes, even in the communal bathrooms in our dorm. Her smell lingers after she leaves places and stays on things she touches and sits on. One of us told her about it privately, very nicely, and then straight up told her, Girl, you smell bad. But she has no sense of urgency about it. She insists the smell is because of her dirty room, which does smell, but it's just her and her belongings in general. She doesn't take care of her things and ruins whatever she borrows. Like, for example, she borrowed a hairbrush dryer that she gave back to my other friend, full of clumps of old dandruff and hair. That's disgusting. Side note, that's just disgusting. She seems to shower regularly, wash her face with cleanser, and brushes her teeth and uses mouthwash. But somehow she smells like she has not bathed for a while. Her products even smell good. Her room is a complete mess with molded food in her fridge, clothes all over the floor, and no bed linens. She sleeps on a bare college dorm mattress. About 2 days ago, a girl in the dorm next to her was spraying Lysol in the hallway, and a friend asked her why. She said it was because the hallway smelled bad. Later, our friend texts her asking her nicely to not spray it because of the harsh chemical smell. Later that night, she heard the girl in her room talking to her friend on the phone, saying she smelled and her room smells. Her friend told each of us as if the girl was in the wrong and talking crap about her. We told her for the millionth time that her smell is a problem and that she shouldn't be mad at the girl for talking to her friend privately and her happening to overhear it. She did not care at all about others thinking she was smelly and was more concerned about getting revenge on the other girl. We told her that was immature and she calmed down, but still wasn't receiving the message. She called us OCD for spraying down our beds and mopping when she visits our rooms. The issue is, we really like her generally as a person, other than a few character issues like her views on hygiene and some of her immature responses to things. She's super fun to be around and is a good friend in most other aspects. She just won't listen about her hygiene and genuinely does not believe it's bad. We were thinking of maybe doing an intervention, but we're not sure she'd even take it seriously or change. What should we do? We don't want to stop being her friend. And there's an edit that says, "Thank you everyone for your help and advice. We are considering an intervention and possibly showing her how to clean herself better. Of course, you can lead a horse to water, but hopefully she'll take the advice. Let's see if this all goes well. Thanks again." Yeah, so somebody like this is just, it takes it to a level, beyond just self neglect. It's also kind of inconsiderate to people around you. I mean, it's one thing to just think and just bother people like that, odor wise, but it's another thing to like um borrow things and give it back with it smelling and just disgusting looking, and that just shows like a true level of carelessness, that this person has people around them. um I think an intervention would be the move, regardless if she takes it seriously or not, because then if she takes it well, then she really does care about you guys and takes you guys worries seriously. And if she doesn't respond well, then that shows you the type of person that she is. That she truly just does not care, you know, about you guys, and just doesn't have self awareness, you know. And in my opinion, that's just somebody I wouldn't want to be around. It kind of sounds like a waste, you know, to try to keep being friends with somebody like that who genuinely just doesn't care about you and how you're feeling. So, I mean, it's obviously up to your choice, up to the poster's choice to decide if that's something they're willing to put up with. Um, but doesn't sound like they're having fun putting up with it this far. So yeah, it's a tough situation. All right, the next one says, "My girlfriend of 2 years lied about her age. I'm 19, 20 in July, and my girlfriend just turned 18 February 1st. We've been together for 2 years since my senior year. I thought she was turning 19 this year, and it turns out that isn't true. When we got together, I was a senior in high school, and she was doing online school. We met through a friend of ours, and well, I was 17 at the time. We got together a week before her birthday. I thought she was turning 17 as I was turning 18 that year. Turns out I was wrong and she was turning 16, which means I was 17 and she was 15 before we got together. I did not find this out until today, 2 years later. She's been working on getting her own car and finally got an appointment to get her license. Well, when I looked at the photo in the paper copy of her license, her birthday said it was under it. Her birthday was under it. I genuinely don't know what to do as I know we haven't done anything illegal, but it still makes me feel gross that at one point, even if it was for a short period of time, I was dating a 15-year-old when I was 17 and dating a 16-year-old when I was 18, and now I'm 19 and was dating a 17-year-old. Part of me loves her and she feels really guilty, but another part of me feels disgusted with myself, disappointed in her, and manipulated as we would have never got together if I knew her age. I could really use any advice." And there's an edit that says, "Thank you for all the advice so far and the different perspective. I should add I'm not as much distraught over the age as much as I am about the dishonesty. Now, the age isn't a big deal, but then it would have been if I knew. Clearly, some of y'all don't understand the legality troubles an 18-year-old dating a 16-year-old can have. Nonetheless, I appreciate the advice. Yeah, this one's a tough one. I mean, I would suggest, at the very least, sitting down, talking to her, making sure you know why she lied, which, you know, from the sounds of it, probably was so because she knew you probably wouldn't date her if she was too young, if you knew her age. Um, she probably just was scared of that happening. So rather than just be honest, she probably just lied because of that. But yeah, the dishonesty would be it'd be pretty tough to get over. Um, especially with how long you guys have probably been dating. You're probably already gone attached by now. So that that adds another layer to it. Um, really just depends how you want to handle it. I mean, would you be willing to overlook, you know, that lie that's been kept for a long time, just for the sake of your relationship that you've built? Um, I mean, then at that point, it'd be pretty hard to not question, whether anything else has been a lie. You know, the relationship is pretty much built on lies at that point. So, all right. So the next one says, a guest staying with me won't leave. An old friend of mine reached out to me a couple weeks ago asking if her and her two boys could come stay with me until they found their own building. She told me that the boys would be taken into a foster home if they couldn't come stay with me because she didn't have adequate housing for them. With that being said, I agreed but was hesitant. They've only been here for a week, and it's been awful to say the least. The boys have no rules and run wild at all hours. I work in childcare, so I enjoy my quiet evenings when I get home from working with 12 kids all day. My guest has also left the home after I've gone to sleep, and I've awoken to her boys crying, and me having to go console them because their mom was nowhere to be found and would go out for all hours of the night, leaving the boys with me. They've also started a fire in my oven, and I got in trouble with my landlord. They eat my groceries and don't replace them. They don't pay any rent. I could go on and on, but these are just some of the main points. She has not been looking for her own housing at all, and with me wanting them gone ASAP, I've been looking for her. I found housing for her, which is available on the 15th. I asked her if she could find someone else to stay with until the 15th, and now she's being snarky with me. I told her that I have family coming to town shortly who will need to use my spare room, and she is upset. How can I kick her out? She plans on coming back tomorrow with her two kids. Yeah, for starters, I mean, this poster is like overly generous for wanting to take in pretty much a whole family into her house for as long as she has. And it sounds like they're kind of taking um her 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 generosity for granted, um just not paying rent first of all, not replenishing the groceries. I mean, the poster just you know kind of has to realize that this person has this situation. I don't know the reason for the situation wasn't given, but you know um she kind of has to come to the conclusion that it's not really her problem, as cruel as it sounds. I mean, you know somebody who is sounds like she's kind of made herself comfortable with the circumstances and is just kind of mooching, for lack of a better term, off of the homeowners, home and groceries, and even just pawning off her kids to them, which is crazy to me. But yeah, I mean, how can you kick her out? I mean, to be honest, I think it just kind of takes that uncomfortable conversation where you just say like, hey, I feel like I've been pretty generous so far. I kind of I need my personal space back. And I think they said something about telling them they have family coming into town, which is great. Um, it's a great reason. You kind of have to get them out. Um, because yeah, you can't really override the family staying there. So that'll be good. Um, I genuinely do hope this person gets it sorted out because that is the worst when your space is being occupied, especially when you're paying for it. You know, person sounds like they have a good heart, pretty generous. So you just hate to see somebody like that being taken advantage of, especially when there are people who really need it. It could make them not want to do that in the future again. Some people, they just like to abuse people, take advantage of people. So that kind of sucks. But I'm curious to see how that plays out. I wonder if there'll be any. All right. The next one, just a fair warning, it does have animal cruelty. So if that disturbs you, you might want to skip ahead. One says, my sister killed my pets, and I don't know where to go from here. I've never used Reddit before. I'm so sorry if this doesn't make sense, but I need help. I went on vacation and left my sister to watch my house. This is something she has done many times before, as she lived with me for 2 years. Previously, I have a dog, a snake, a ferret, and fish. So I need someone to stay in my house and watch my zoo when I go out of town. It got extremely cold here, well, below freezing, and I had thought that my sister would be staying in my house to make sure everything was fine, which she has done before. But I just came back from my vacation and found my snake, fish, and almost all my plants dead. I'm obviously very upset. My sister left me a note saying that she didn't want to ruin my vacation by letting me know that my plants started to die immediately, and my snake was dead 2 days after I was gone. My security cameras were turned off, so I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that she didn't stay at my house at all and just popped in every now and then. I did not leave my security cameras off, and she helped me install it, so she knows that they should be on. The house was very cold, like she never bothered to turn on the heater, which she knows how to do because she lived with me. This just happened, so I'm not prepared to confront her, and I wouldn't even know where to start. Any advice would be helpful. This one is a difficult one. I mean, especially when you have family involved, it can get pretty hard. Um, but it sounds like neglect. Somebody you trusted to take care of your pets just didn't do their job. I mean, I could have missed it, but it doesn't even sound like she apologized. I mean, this sounds like carelessness to me. You can't really like. It's complicated because you can't really cut off your family like that. I mean, you could, but you know, there's just so much more nuance to that. Obviously, you'd have to work on learning how to forgive them. Um, yeah, it's a tough situation. I mean, I definitely wouldn't trust my trust that person to take care of my pets again for sure. I mean, there's a lot of ways you could go with it. I mean, like you could ask for some compensation, but that won't bring your pets back for sure. It's difficult, especially when you have to keep on loving this person and because they're family. You know, I mean, obviously you don't have to, but yeah, I'm kind of talking in circles, but yeah, it's a tough one, that's for sure. All right, so here's the next one. I found out my husband has been pretending to go to work for 3 months. He leaves every morning at 8, comes home tired at 6. Today, I found a termination letter from October in his bag. I checked our savings and realized he's been draining it to fake his paycheck deposits every 2 weeks. And he has been sitting next to me yesterday complaining about his boss, even though he hasn't worked there in 3 months. He lied to my face every day for 90 days, and the money's almost gone. I honestly don't know what to do. Yeah, this one is just a clear red flag. I mean, this guy has been, first of all, lying, which is bad enough in itself, but at the same time, he's been draining the savings account. I mean, that's just pure leech activity. I mean, um, this is just so crazy to me. Like, clearly, I mean, he probably was just too scared to admit that he lost his job. Um, money causes stress, so probably didn't want to say that, but this was definitely not the way to go about it. I mean, this is grounds for separation at the very least. I mean, uh, just for how long did they say? However long. I mean, just been lying and also just not making good financial choices. You also have to take account what he has been doing. Like that brings that question in. Like, what has he been doing while he's been going away at work? I mean, clearly not finding other ways to make money if the savings account's being drained and you guys are losing money. I mean, this is cause for breaking up or divorce. If you're married. Um, yeah, I mean, definitely I would call him out on it, and at the very least, be ready for separation. I mean, it sounds like a difficult time, so I wish this person the best of luck. All right, here's the next one. It says my boyfriend has been saving posts about hating his girlfriend. Just as the title says, my male 26 boyfriend, I'm female 23, has been saving posts on Instagram that seem to be all about hating his girlfriend. Some examples are when you're slowly distancing yourself and your girlfriend finally calls it quits and the guy is smirking. One is when you work so hard to get a girl and then you realize that you don't like her for real. Another is nobody treats you better than the girl you don't want to be with. And when she's laying on your chest as you two are snuggled up on the couch and you feel absolutely nothing. I feel like I'm going crazy here. Is this a normal thing men do? I've heard about boyfriends hating on their girlfriends, but he has acted completely opposite in person, still loving and attentive. Please give me some advice so I can figure out what to do. And the edit says, if you think I should talk to him first, what do you think I should say? How do I even start something like that? Yeah, this one, I mean, it could mean a lot of things. I know there was like a TikTok trend, especially, I think it might have started with girls. I could be wrong, but like girlfriends posting their boyfriends saying like, "Oh, like I wish when you low key wish you would break up," something like that. Like when you're with your man and you low key just can't stand him, stuff like that. So it could be just jokes, but the the fact that he's saving them is kind of makes me think it's maybe not that. Um, I mean, you could go about it two ways, really. One, you could straight up just ask him and like have a serious conversation about the relationship and how he feels about it, without even bringing up that you saw his save post. Um, Another way is just to straight up call him out and ask him about the post directly. But then depending on how you did see those posts, like if you were snooping on his phone or something, that he might not like that. Um, or if you like somehow just got into his account, something like that, he might not like that. But yeah, it definitely requires a conversation. Either way, regardless. Um, Somebody like that, somebody who really genuinely feels like that, probably just I guess maybe doesn't have the courage to say it or something. Um, doesn't want to have that difficult situation, or maybe they're just scared of uh, being alone, just don't want to be alone. So they're just settling for what is available, which sounds awful, and it really is because you're kind of leading a person on. But yeah, either way, definitely would have a conversation, um, whichever way this person wants to go about it. All right, so here's another one. Found out my daughter bought her friend $90 shoes. So my daughter, 14 years old, has been saving her allowance for a while now. And I guess while Christmas shopping with my sister, she bought one of her best friends a pair of DC shoes that came out to $94. I didn't know she did that, and now I'm kind of nervous if it's acceptable for her to gift them to her friend. She told me that she asked her friend what she would want for Christmas, and she told her, I asked my mom for these shoes, but my mom said, no, you're not getting those. I'm assuming because of the price. So now I feel like it might be wrong to have her gift her these shoes. My daughter is so excited to go back to school Monday and give them to her, but I have this gut feeling that the mom of the friend won't like it. Okay, I need to add this in here for context because I really, really don't want the friend to have this rep of asking or begging for anything. She is a very kind girl, and out of all the friends my daughter has had, she has been one of the best in my eyes as a mom who would want their child surrounded by good friends and positive influences. So, yeah, I just want to clarify that she didn't ask for the gift, and as far as I know from the story, my daughter didn't say anything about buying her something. It's a complete surprise. They chatted about what they wanted for Christmas, and she remembered her saying her mom won't get her them. They both listed multiple things, so it was more of a conversation than, hey, if you get me anything for Christmas, I want these shoes. So just want to clear that up. Her friend is a sweet, respectful girl, and I would never think of her as a friend just using her, but totally understand the concern because of the lack of details. Yeah, so this one, I mean, to be honest, I personally don't see like a big deal. Even if the mom did say no, because of money, you know, uh, it, it could end up two ways. The mom could be could be mad. Felt like she was going that that they were like overriding her, going past her. Um, which in my opinion isn't a big deal either. I mean, it's not like the other parent was going around the other girl's mom and like trying to step in as that role and get her what she wants. Um, it's the kid, So if it's the kid doing it and it was just a gift, I mean, I don't see the big issue. Um, I don't recall how old these girls were. I don't know if it was mentioned, but uh, you know, $90. I mean, it's not crazy. It's not like it was like some designer brand, like crazy expensive thing. I mean, 90 bucks for shoes. I mean, I know it isn't cheap, but at the end of the day, it's just a gift. Kids they wanna be friends and do stuff for each other. I say let them. I don't see the harm in it. And there's another edit that says, I was wondering why there were still some comments, but I guess the update post got deleted. Anyway, just really quick, my daughter gifted the shoes and the friend wears them every day. She loves them. There were a few other little things we put in the bag because we learned after winter break that she got nothing for Christmas. Anyway, she loved them and wears them every day. They still walk home together and they're still best friends. Everything turned out fine. The mom didn't mind either. Thank you for all the replies. All right. The last one says, how do I tell this girl I met on Reddit I don't want to continue after one date without hurting her? I met this girl on Reddit, and before our first date, I told her I hadn't moved on from my ex. She said she was ready to be my rebound. On our first date, she came to my place. We got physical, but I was just thinking about my ex the whole time I was with her. I know it's very wrong, and I couldn't tell her because she seemed to be enjoying it. I also don't find her attractive. Can you guys please tell me how I can be honest with her that I don't want to continue without hurting her? It's only been one date. This one is honestly crazy. I mean, cuz it's not like it's not like it's not like this poster just, started getting unattracted to her out of nowhere. Found her unattractive just like randomly after they, did their deed. Um, this person had to have known like the whole time that he wasn't attracted to her and still, let things go as far as they did. So, to be honest, that's kind of a jerk move. I mean, you know, I don't know this person. They could be, a good person most of the time, but it's just that thing for sure is just not a cool move. As far as what to do, I mean, got really no choice but to be honest. It's either that or just keep on lying to yourself and to this person and just let it go on for longer than it is, and then it just gets worse. So, yeah, the best thing to do is just be upfront as soon as you can. Just say like, hey, I'm not really, I'm still not over, my ex, and bringing, it's just, I just don't think it's gonna work out if, you know, if if I'm feeling like this, it's kind of a waste of time for both of us. Something like that. You definitely don't have to add in that you're not attracted to her, especially since you let it go as far as it did. That just seems like kicking somebody while they're down. Sure. So this is definitely a learning experience for this poster. I mean, yeah, you definitely don't want to have that situation again. And if you do get into that situation again, I think that's just kind of scummy behavior. So yeah, I suggest just being upfront about it and just learning, um, and moving on. I mean, it's definitely gonna. If this girl has any self-respect, I mean, there's probably not gonna be a huge chance of a friendship. Um, and yeah, a worst case scenario, uh, she actually doesn't care and still wants to continue, seeing each other. Then you have to be a bit more direct and just say like, hey, I don't see myself being with you, something like that. But yeah, so these have been the stories. I hope I was able to give some insight. I'm still working on learning how to what's it called, articulate myself and articulate my thoughts and experiences. Um, this is kind of a learn as you go type thing for me. I know I'm not the best at one giving advice, and two, um, you know, kind of thinking on the spot. So yeah, I'll probably make this a thing, and we'll see how much better I can get at it. So yeah, thank you for watching.